Putin breaking news today live update. How Ukraine turned the tide of the war by attacking southern Russia. After more than a week has passed since Ukraine launched a lightning-fast offensive across the border on the Kursk area in the south, Russia is frantically working to strengthen its defenses. In response to the danger, Russia has reportedly redirected hundreds of troops from occupied areas within Ukraine, according to officials from the United States who spoke to CNN. A promise that Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, made that he would not use conscripts on the front lines has been broken, and he has been forced to call in extra soldiers. According to satellite data, a massive trench has been constructed across the countryside in Kursk, close to the village of Selekshnyany, which is approximately 45 kilometers, about 28 miles, from the border. There are now job advertisements for trench diggers available online. One made a guarantee that payment every week. The audacious gamble that Ukraine made to breach Russia's border, which was prepared in perfect secrecy, had shocked even Kyiv's closest allies, including the United States, and had shifted the playing field of a war that has been going on for more than 2 years, according to experts who spoke to CNN. However, after spending months on the defensive and losing ground in grinding conflicts within their own area, the Ukrainians were able to surprise Moscow and invade the Russian heartland. What was the secret to their success? For starters, exceptional operational security. Nothing concerning the operation was disclosed. According to videos taken from the ground and satellite imaging of their approach, the maneuvers of the troops nearly appeared to be an exercise or a defensive reinforcement from the satellite imagery. Ukraine has shown that they are capable of successfully carrying out such a covert and significant operation, that they are able to penetrate Russian territory, which means that this is no longer the red line, and that they are still very much committed to fighting for their country, that there is no such thing as war fatigue, and that they are willing to take these, in a sense, extreme measures for the sake of defending their country. Currently serving as an associate fellow at the Royal United Services Institute for Defense and Security Studies, RUSI, in the United Kingdom, Natia Siskuria. Under the cover of dense summer foliage, the army was assembled along the rural roads of the Sumy region, which is located in the northeastern part of Ukraine. Battle-hardened, experienced units were either brought up from other locations or that were diverted from other areas. According to a number of films and social media reports, the mission to breach the border was augmented with the participation of units such as the 82nd Air Assault Brigade, which had been engaged in combat in the Kharkiv region, which is located close. As part of the comprehensive preparations, exact intelligence was gathered regarding the readiness and capability of Russian units stationed along the border, as well as the number of obstacles that were to come, which included minefields and tank traps. It was not a large number. In addition, Ukrainian soldiers utilized their extensive understanding of the terrain in order to launch the attack. They utilized forest belts as a cover and roads as a means of providing speed. It wasn't until the final few days before the incursion started that the commanders were given a briefing on the mission. It was the fact that they were able to invade Russian territory with relatively little to no resistance that was the most important factor in the success of the Ukrainian government. It came as a total surprise to the Russians, and it demonstrates that the Russian intelligence services were completely incapable of anticipating any kind of incursion into the region by the Ukrainians, said Siskuria. Due to the fact that they had identified vulnerable areas within the Russian defenses, the initial Ukrainian battalions launched an assault on Kursk on the afternoon of August 6. It appears that scores of Russian soldiers instantly surrendered at the highly damaged border crossing southwest of the hamlet of Sudza, which is located 105 kilometers, 65 miles, southwest of the city of Kursk. These videos were geolocated by CNN and were shared on social media platforms. According to Serhiy Sternenko, a Ukrainian vlogger who published the video on his Twitter and Telegram accounts, it appeared to show at least 22 Russian soldiers surrendering in the Kursk region. It was not possible for CNN to verify the identities of the individuals depicted in the video. Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, announced on Thursday that Ukrainian forces had successfully gained control of Sudza. This was the first official confirmation that the troops, who had been present in the town since the previous Wednesday, had successfully taken control of it. In the process of transporting gas supplies from Russia to Europe via Ukraine, the town serves as an essential transit station. Satellite pictures revealed that a gas station located at a border crossing in the vicinity was in ruins. In their assault over the border, Ukrainian forces have utilized armored vehicles manufactured in the West, specifically Strykers and Martyrs, which are both quick and durable. At the same time that the Russian military was frantically trying to determine the extent of the assault, small mobile groups of special troops quickly dispersed themselves to dozens of different sites. The use of air defenses and supporting artillery, in addition to jamming in order to prevent the Russian military from using communication, was essential to their success. Soldiers were able to avoid being detected by heat-detecting drones thanks to the thermal protection found in their body armor. After crossing the border, the Ukrainians were in close proximity to Sudza within a matter of hours. A significant number of its inhabitants were forced to make terrifying escapes, and some of them were venting their frustration at the Russian troops for abandoning them. As the operation progressed, Ukrainian soldiers posted a video showing themselves in front of village signs before disappearing. This was part of a parallel campaign of psychological warfare that was being conducted. CNN geolocated a number of films that showed Ukrainian military standing in front of road signs and removing Russian flags from village halls in the Kursk region. These recordings were taken at Porozovsky, Plakovo, Sverdlikovo, Gaivo, and Sudza, among other places. Oleksandr Syrsky, the head of the Ukrainian armed forces, stated on Thursday that Ukrainian forces have taken control of 1,150 square kilometers, about 444 square miles, of terrain and 82 communities since the beginning of the surprise incursion. After more than a week had passed since the beginning of the incursion, the Ukrainians continued to search for vulnerabilities, consolidate their hold on a ring of territory that was 35 kilometers, about 22 miles, deep, and even provide Russian citizens with emergency food aid. According to statements made by Siskuria to CNN, the intervention by Ukraine is to some extent a self-defense measure. This is owing to the fact that the Kursk region, because of its position, has been utilized numerous times to launch missiles on Ukrainian territory.